In this video, I'll be doing Khan Academy's Unit 1 SAT Math Practice of Foundations Algebra. So we'll be doing the 10 problems of the unit test. So we're going to be practicing each unit in Khan Academy's SAT Math practice course. So let's get started. The expression 100 plus 20m gives the volume of water in liters in Marcel's pool. After Marcel spends m minutes, so m stands for minutes, filling his pool, what is the volume of water in liters in Marcel's pool after he fills it for 5 1/4 minutes? This right here is 5.25 if decimals is easier for you. And so when we see the problem again, we're m stands for minutes, and this is the equation that we would use, and we're given 5 1/4 minutes, so all we have to do is plug it in. So it's just 100 plus 20 and then 5.25, and so that should give us the answer. So all we have to do is plug it into the calculator. That's going to give us 205.
Great work.
Okay. Last week, Chi-Chi spent 6 more hours practicing guitar than Will did. Okay, Chi-Chi spent 6 more hours. If Chi-Chi practiced for 14 hours last week, which of the following can be used to calculate X, the number of hours Will practiced guitar last week? Basically, we can set up that Chi-Chi spent 6 more hours than Will. So Chi-Chi equals 6 plus W, which is Will. But then we know that Chi-Chi practiced for 14 hours. So we can replace that C with 14 and then just put back the rest of the equation. Then we solve for W. Okay, but when we look at the answer choices here, it's just X instead. So all we have to do is look for 14 or 6 plus X equals 14, and we see C right there. So it's going to be C.
Good work.
Which ordered pairs satisfies the given system of equations? So this is easy. Since you should be taking the digital SAT, all we have to do is plug it into the calculator. So, and make sure you're using the graphing calculator, of course. So y minus 5 equals x, and then x plus 2y is equal to 22. And then all we have to do is find out where these two equations intersect, and that's basically the solution of the systems of equation. We can see they intersect at 4, 9. So at 4 is x and 9 is y. So it should be 4, 9. But if you are basically solving it, you could just use substitution or elimination. Here I would use substitution because I can see y is alone there. So I would add 5. So then y is equal to x plus 5. And then I would plug it into this equation. So x plus 2, and then we have y is equal to 5, x plus 5, so we plug it in for y. X plus 5 is equal to 22. And then after that, you just solve for x, and then that should give you x. And then whatever x is equal, so it equals 4. Then we go back and plug it into one of the original equations. So we get y. So let's say this first one right here, y minus 5 is equal to x, but we know x is 4. So solve for y plus 5, and then y is equal to 9. That's basically a way you can solve systems of equations without using the calculator, but if you're taking the digital SAT, the calculator is allowed for every question. If x over 7 is equal to 9, what is the value of x? So all we have to do is multiply each side by 7, cancel that out. X is equal to 64, which is what 9 times 7 is. So 63.
Nice work.
What is the slope of the line shown? So we can't really use the y-intercept because it's kind of a decimal, but of course you can do it. So we look for a point that we can see. Oops. So we can do that point right there. That's kind of covering. And that point is -2, -2, -1. And then we also see a point here. And that's going to be 2, 0. And so to find the slope, you can use that slope equation or just count it. So we see here that it goes up 1 and then runs 4 times. So the slope should be 1/4, and it's positive because it's going up. And so that's the answer, 1/4. Oh, make sure to put in a fraction. Okay, so we can just put that into the calculator here. 1/5x, that's the slope, plus 1 is the y-intercept. Make sure your arrow is correct, that's the main component that tells us where is it going to be shaded. And so we see that y is going to be greater than or equal to that equation, so it's going to be like above 0. So it's going to be D. That's where this equation matches the most, so D. Jordan and Cameron are playing an arcade basketball game. At the end of the game, Cameron scored 8 fewer points than Jordan did, and Jordan scored 1.2 times as many points as Cameron did. Which of the following systems of equation would be used to find J, the number of points Jordan scored, and K, the number of points Cameron scored? Okay, so we can write that Cameron scored 8 fewer points than Jordan did. So K can be used to represent Cameron is equal to J minus 8 because he scored 8 fewer points than Jordan did. And Jordan scored 1.2 times. Jordan scored 1.2 times as many points as Cameron did. So we can also do J is equal to 1.2K because he scored 1.2 times as many. K, so it should be this. Oops. So let's see. We have K is equal to J minus 8 and J is equal to 1. So, oh shoot. J is equal to, and it should be A already. Yeah, it's A. A trivia contest asks both multiple choice and free response questions. Okay, so contestants receive 3 points for each correct multiple choice question and 5 points for each correct free response question. And they must score more than 60 points to advance to the next round. If Eva advanced to the next round of the contest, which of the following inequalities describes X, the number of multiple choice, and Y, the number of free response questions that she answered correctly? So we know that you need more than 60 points to advance to the next round, and she did, so it has to be, so it's a inequality, so her equation, that's her equation, and then it has to be greater than or equal to 60 because she cannot score less than 60 if she advanced to the next round. And she did advance, so it has to be more than 60. And then we don't know the amount of free response or multiple choice, so it's 3x. X is equal to multiple choice, and Y is free response plus 5y. So that should be our equation. Oh, shoot. They must score more than 60 points. So it's actually, it's just greater than. It's not greater than or equal to. I get so used to writing that at the bottom now. So it should be A. If -25 plus K is equal to 21, what is the value of K? So just solve for K there. Plus 25. 21 plus 25, and that should equal 46. Again, digital SAT is just use the calculator for every question. Joe is buying apples and persimmons at the grocery store. Each apple costs 99 cents and each persimmon costs 79 cents. If Joe has $10, which of the following inequalities describes X? The number of apple, and Y, which is the number of persimmons that he can buy. So he only has $10 to use, so that means his total which is going to be this side of the equation, has to be less than or equal to $10. He can use $10. He cannot use $10.01. So it should be one of these two. And X is the number of apples, and the number of apples is 99 cents, so it should be D. Nice. So hopefully you got this video pretty well, and thank you so much for watching.